Yes, hello everyone. Nico Cue. So, very briefly, I was appointed by GUE to be a candidate for the presidency of the European Commission, and that was, 2 weeks ago. So I'm delighted to be here with you and with the trade unionists. My whole career has a trade union background in Belgium, notably in the French-speaking part of the country. So I have a fair amount of experience as a trade unionist. As Juan Blanco said, we were part of the Annecy Group, the founders of the Annecy Group, which was basically a group of 4 different trade union organizations. And we set up that grouping because we saw that industry was really causing a great deal of damage across Europe, notably when it comes to the iron and steel industry. We had a couple of successes. One of which was when ArcelorMittal was taking over the whole iron and steel sector. All trade unions in Europe decided that the industrial ovens would not be shut down, and rather we opened up labour discussions, negotiations with ArcelorMittal. And through that, over a period of 3 years, we were able to ensure a great deal of coordination at the various ArcelorMittal sites, and we were able to keep open 29 industrial furnace sites. Now, of course, the crisis caused catastrophe, but we continue to try to hold strong to ensure that workers in their factories appreciate that we are stronger together than alone, stronger when we are united at the European level than not, and that it is a mistake to shrink back to the national level. Because if one does, you have to accept that jobs will be lost, salaries will be decreased, and globalization will push forward. At the European level, we need common labour rights, social rights, north, south, east and west in Europe. The left in Europe, and I'm including the Social Democrats and the Greens when I say the left, need to build on the work of trade unionists of the past, and we really need to yield some practical results. I think as trade unionists, we should not be entirely proud. I know those that are in the room have great hopes of Europe, but at home we have many colleagues who believe that national legislation is the only bulwark against multinationalism, the multinational companies. That logic may be flawed. However, many of my colleagues who work in industry in Belgium say, let's group behind what we know. Because Europe is too complicated, it's too difficult, we would be better off to take action at the national level. The work of a trade unionist is not easy. It's very difficult. But I think trade unionists need to become more involved in European issues because we don't have the strength we need at that level. The balance of powers is not in our favour. If we do not fight together at the European level, we see things like national strikes in France when it comes to recognition of trade union organizations, issues regarding purchasing power, etc. On the 13th of February, there's to be a general strike in Belgium with the support of the three main trade union organizations. And I have heard that in Italy on the 9th of February, there will also be action in Italy. So there's a real need to join forces. I have the impression that the need to join forces and to pull behind a social rights campaign across Europe is something which is problematic for us. The ETUC was set up to do just that, to rebalance the balance of powers. So it falls to each and every one of us in our national federations lay emphasis on the importance of international trade union action within the ETUC, because without it, we won't have the social rights we need. Working times rising in Austria. In Belgium, a drive in the same direction. Hungary, an increase in working hours. 72 hours, we just heard from the colleague seated behind me. Unfortunately, our national governments, often linked with the far right, are stronger than the trade unionists. And I think that, however, that we do have a buoy and that we can throw ourselves on, and that is the European level action. So I would once again call for everybody not to retreat to the national level and to disseminate that message as far and as wide as possible. I shall be doing that at each event that I attend, and each time I'm asked to speak. I will be speaking on behalf of the trade unionists and on behalf of Europe. I'd like to thank Cue for having allowed me to come forward and to do just that. Thank you.